let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Technology.
Mm.
Gaps in technology. Okay, so there's Lindsey. I'm seeing him. He's trying to use his phone, his iPhone, right? And he has some difficulty. I mean, using it. So, would you care to expand it? Like that's one of the gaps I see in technology. I don't know. And then there's Braille. I mean, I know nothing about these subjects. Like really, like
Braille is a fascinating language. It's the English language. It's just typed out in Braille. It was actually adopted from Louis Braille is the person that invented Braille, and he got part of the idea, I think, through Morse code. The idea of Braille through Morse code. But the only thing with Braille, I've tried learning Braille because, of course, I didn't lose the majority of my eyesight till I was 48. So I, read and did everything that everyone else did growing up. But the thing with Braille is it's very touch sensitive in your fingertips. And as we get older, our fingertips, we lose that sensitivity. And it's really hard. Like my friend Devin, who does Insight Peterborough, she was born without eyes. So she's never had sight, never had the opportunity to understand or see sight. She's a fascinating lady. You would never know she didn't have sight. She does everything on her own. And but she's done Braille since she was a child. And in doing so, she's got that touch. And she'll even say, it is hard to learn when you're older because you lose that touch. So that's probably the most difficult part about Braille. Learning the language isn't that difficult. It's just that touch, being able to differentiate when you're reading it. I'm always envious of her because we'll be at a meeting, let's say like this, and she'll sit there and be reading her Braille, but continuing to talk. And here she's reading along to herself about something and talking with everyone. I can't do that anymore. Like I can't, look at something and read it like she can, with her fingers. It's fascinating.
Things like the phone, like texting. I mean,
do it by voice.
Voice activation.
Yeah. So all the devices now have iPads and phones, and even your computer have voice activation when needed. So
I've never used voice activation.
Yeah. So many people do that. Okay. They do use the voice, and they do have. Like on cell phones, they do have a lot of their own built-in apps or built-in features for people with vision loss that where we like text to speech or speech to text, and it'll read things back to you. We just have to activate them on the phone and then learn how to use them. That's probably the complicated part, is sometimes knowing what's there, because again, unless you have vision loss, you're not going to go looking for it on your phone. And it's really, often it's just hard finding somebody.
No, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what's there or what it does. Or even know that it's there.
The technology still has a long way to go.
It
because
sure
you need
does.
text to message or speech, like unless you're very articulate and very slow, it could write types, many different things for you. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's still a lot of things. But for example, they've now come out, one of the biggest things is GPS.
Yes.
So new forms of GPS, and they are coming out with some new technology and experimenting with them. And one of these really neat things that are just starting to hit the market now is mobility canes that have a built-in GPS on it, where it detects, it's like an eye, kind of like the cars where they see what's ahead, and it beeps or reverberates back to you and vibrates the cane. So if you were walking up to the table, it would tell you that there's something there ahead of you, and it vibrates so that you can actually navigate around things without running into them. So that was one of the big things. Even though you have a cane in front of you, you still kind of bump things.
Yes,
so now before bumping into it, it reverberates into the cane. So there is new technology all the time being developed and getting out there. I think the biggest barrier is always price. There's a lot of people who can't.
Expensive technology.
Yeah, technology is always expensive.
New technology,
There are some programs, and there's like ADP, Assistive Devices Program, which is put on by Ontario. But it's honestly, it's quite archaic. So the items that they have now on that program are quite old that you can get. None of the newer technology and the most up-to-date stuff isn't even on the program.
Okay.
So that's the expensive stuff, and that is the
That's-
stuff where before, you'd have to have 3 or 4 different devices to do one thing. Or a variety of things. Now, a lot of times you can get one device that can do it, but can you afford that device?
Can you afford it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's they have a long way to go to kind of fix that problem, but I understand it's in the works. Just time.
Oh, I admire your optimism.
Optimism. You have to have that. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Have that.
I couldn't agree more.